Somebody's got background. There we go. Extra music this morning. Here we go. Good morning, and welcome to the Vashon Island Unitarian Universalists. My name's Julia Lakey, and I'm going to be your service leader this morning. If you're visiting, please participate as you feel comfortable, and you're invited to stay and enjoy our wonderful coffee hour and introduce yourself in that conversation time. Our congregation is committed to individual freedom of belief. We welcome diversity. We seek to promote a sense of community and foster religion which enriches the spirit. We're a mostly lay-led community, strengthened and enriched by weaving together the volunteer contributions of members and friends. So as we begin our service, please settle in and take a couple of deep breaths to bring yourself fully present here. Just bring your attention into this moment of communal reflection and sharing as you breathe all the way deep down into your belly and a long, slow, full release. And even that practice highlights the fact that we start a new month, and our theme of the month is paying attention. Excuse me. We acknowledge that we're on the traditional homelands of the Swabash Coast Salish Native people. The Puyallup people have lived on and stewarded these lands since the beginning of time, and they continue to do so today. We recognize that this land acknowledgement is one small step toward true allyship, and we commit to uplifting the voices, experiences, and histories of the indigenous peoples of this land and beyond. Unitarian Universalists do not have a creed, but we share a belief in 8 principles. One of our principles is to affirm and promote justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Today's service has been organized by the Social and Environmental Justice team, and with our monthly theme of paying attention, you get to decide how compassion, justice, and equity fit. And I'd like to invite Roger to come up and light our chalice.
Let us light our chalices together, in person and online, with these words: may our attention be befriended, directed, and sustained, written by Laurie Stevens. With this chalice, may we kindle the flame of our attention, not too fiery or wild, spreading without cause or care, not too dim or fading, unfocused and ineffective, but like a cheerful cook fire in a cozy hearth, like a comforting candle flickering yet steady. May our attention be befriended, directed, and sustained for betterment of all humankind.
We're going to have an opening reading by Vicki.
Good morning. I was asked to read this about a month ago, and when Mary Oliver first became, just the common words among us, I clipped this out of something because I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know what to pray to. And I've had this hanging on my counter, taped on my counter for probably 8 or 10 years. And when she said to read it, it gives me permission to feel like when I talk to my flowers, I'm praying. And that's really important to me. Praying by Mary Oliver. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be the weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention, then patch. A few words together, and don't try to make them elaborate. It isn't a contest, but a doorway into thanks and a silence in which another voice may speak. Can I read that again? I love that so much. It's so important. It just gives your heart a place to go. Praying by Mary Oliver. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention, then patch a few words together and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but a doorway into thanks and a silence in which another voice may speak. Thank you. Oh.
This is one of the many reasons that we are a community. It's all to be shared. It's all. So now, would you please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn 128, For All That Is Our Life. And we're going to have song leaders.
This is a beautiful song about love and compassion. And we're going to sing all 4 verses. And I encourage you to watch those of us leading. Would you like to come up, Judy? Because there is a place where there's a pause, where you pause and listen at the top of page 128. But with the beautiful guidance of Xander's amazing playing, we can do it.
did that really well. Thank you, song leaders. It was beautiful. Good morning. It is my great pleasure and honor to introduce Emily Scott, the director of the Vashon Maury Community Food Bank, as our speaker today. Emily arrived on Vashon Island in 2012, and her first job was as a farm intern at Pacific Crest Farm, and that's where I met her. We've known each other a while. She joined the food bank in 2013 and served there as the volunteer coordinator until 2017, when she left to pursue a master's degree in public policy at the University of Washington's Evans School. Her focus was to marry her social justice commitment with effective leadership to improve the delivery of public services. After graduate school, Emily was drawn back to Vashon to become the executive director of the food bank. Soon after her arrival, almost immediately, the pandemic hit Vashon, and she led the food bank's successful effort to provide food in a safe and respectful way. She has spearheaded a major capital campaign to fund the creation of a new centrally located food bank and support service hub on the site of the Vashon Methodist Church, while at the same time maintaining the food bank service to more than 300 families each week. She is all about paying attention. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you, Marilee. Thank you all for having me. It's lovely to see so many familiar faces in here, and some new faces, so I'm really honored to be here. Marilee touched on kind of a lot of my history, but just to kind of recap, I was just talking with Earl, who I know through Rotary, about our mutual time spent in Indiana. So I was actually born in Tacoma, grew up in northern Indiana, went to high school in Plymouth, Indiana, a town of about 10,000 people out in the middle of a bunch of cornfields and cows. So let's see, after high school, I left and went to the University of Oregon to get my undergraduate degree in something like environmental studies and geography. I was just telling someone the other day, in my younger years, I'm pushing all of 40 years these days, so I was really focused on environmental causes, thinking that humans were too complicated, so I might as well just focus on trees. So how I found myself here is interesting, in a very human-centric profession and kind of focus. So when I left the University of Oregon, I lived in Portland for a while, doing young person Portland kind of things. And then I left to join the Peace Corps and moved to West Africa. I lived in Senegal for about 27 months and was an urban agriculture extension agent, so doing a lot of trainings with women's groups about growing kind of microgreens on these tabletop gardens. What an interesting experience. And I actually left the Peace Corps with kind of more of a commitment to doing service work in a country where I spoke the language, because it's a lot easier to communicate effectively when you're not also learning to speak a new language. So I'd love to sit down and tell all kinds of stories about the Peace Corps. But after I left West Africa, like Marilee mentioned, I moved to Vashon to work at Pacific Crest Farm. The reentry period after something like the Peace Corps is bizarre. Oh, there's Nan Wilson back there. I didn't. Oh, sorry. I have a meeting with Nan after this today. So let's see. Yeah, moved to Pacific Crest Farm. Got into a relationship here on the island. Started working at the food bank as the volunteer program manager. Like Marilee mentioned, I left in 2017, not knowing that I was going to come back. I thought, I was embarking on, taking all the kind of professional skills I learned at the food bank and taking them out into the world. And then right as I graduated, Robbie Rohr, who was my predecessor, who also I believe is an attendee of this establishment. Oh, I didn't know that. That's lovely. Yeah, so I know Robbie well, and her wife Mary, of course. So Robbie retired right as I was graduating, and like Marilee mentioned, about 6 months into the job as executive director, the pandemic hit. So ironically enough, the Evans School's kind of ethos is leadership through ambiguity. So I know. So what an opportunity to practice my new and very expensive skills that I that I gained. So, many of you might have been aware. How many of you in the room have been to the food bank at its current location? Lots of people familiar with the programming and everything. So right before the pandemic, the food bank had switched, as many, food banks across the industry were doing at the time, to kind of more of a grocery store model, where, folks enter into the shopping area and really just move about kind of freely. Whereas previously it had been kind of like a conveyor belt, like, food sorted into like kinds, and you would kind of shop out of milk crates. So we switched to a grocery store model. And really early on during the pandemic, we decided to not, and I like to try to frame it in the positive, but we stopped bringing customers into the grocery store area out of personal safety and public health. And instead had people fill out order forms and did kind of a curbside service model. All throughout that process, similarly, our home delivery program, of course, expanded about 500% from maybe 20 to 30 households per week previous to peak pandemic, like June of 2020. We did, I think, 175 households. I know Bernie used to drive home delivery for us in our big white van. That broke down one time, and we had to go rescue. So that was a really wild process. Our team was kind of in constant adaptation mode. We also, our Picnics in the Park program shifted from, lunch service in Ober Park to this kind of hybrid mobile service that was adapted with the school district, which was really cool. So through all of these changes, we really focused on our kind of institutional values of, acceptance for people's circumstances and, focusing on offering people a dignified experience. So lots of food banks, and not to disparage them, but lots of food banks during the pandemic shifted to like a pre-pack kind of like box, like you get what you get kind of model because demand was so high. We were able to continue to offer people choice throughout the pandemic because we really believe that there's dignity in choice, and that regardless of people's circumstances, they deserve a dignified experience. We've carried that same kind of ethos forward as we have really deepened our relationship with the Vashon United Methodist Church. I imagine some of you probably knew Pastor Paul Mitchell when he was on the island. He was on the food bank's board of directors for a little while, and it became clear after many, many years of conversation that the Methodist Church has got this, like many churches across the country do really, has got this beautiful property right in town, well-built facilities, and a community-minded outlook. Whereas a congregation that is shrinking. At the same time, the food bank has got increased demand, so increased need has been on the island for over 40 years, so is a real institution. And our current facilities at Sunrise Ridge do not offer the community the dignified experience that we strive for. So the partnering of the two, the food bank and the Methodist Church, just made sense. Like both, the church being, of course, secular, the food bank sitting squarely in the church being sacred, the food bank sitting squarely in the secular. But both organizations have got this intention of serving the community. So a long story short, here we are years later, a couple weeks away from our grand opening of the new food bank. I know. We'll be having a ribbon cutting ceremony on Friday the 13th at noon. You all are invited. I know that was intentional, just to be kind of cheeky. I think there's going to be around 300 people there. So, in light of all of the really existentially heavy things going on these days, we're hoping for it to be a really lovely kind of community celebration. Because we certainly could not have built the new facility without the support from the community. So let's see. Like I mentioned, underpinning all of our programming adaptations and the build out of the new facility is really the intention of, building a dignified, welcoming, inclusive space that we think the entire community deserves. Another kind of, I don't want to say secondary, but I think, the increased visibility of the food bank in a new location, as well as the build out of a community resource hub where there's multiple different services available. For example, Vashon Youth and Family Services has already got their Family Place program operating out of the property. On Wednesday mornings, there's really adorable little kid yoga that happens in the sanctuary building. And I did anecdotally, I walked out of the education building office one day and watched this little girl licking raindrops off the outside of her mom's car. I was like, I wonder if I should tell her not to do that, but it's that's fine. And again, I wish I could say that we were kind of forging a new path and doing something that no other food bank in the country is doing. But really, the whole emergency food system is moving more towards the idea that we can meet people where they're at, offer them multiple services. If people need access to groceries, it's likely that they can also benefit from access to other services like again, Vashon Youth and Family Services offers Spanish language support to do your taxes, or of course the church, the Vashon United Methodist Church itself offers all kinds of supporting services to folks in the community. So I think that access, and I really do believe this, it's not just a talking point, that we will become more accessible and more inclusive to the entire community by way of offering multiple different services on the same property. If somebody is on the property for some kind of clinic going on, or meeting. Is anybody here part of? I'm forgetting. Indivisible. Yeah, of course. So Indivisible has been meeting at that property really regularly because obviously that group has got a lot of work to do these days. The notion that people could be on the property for any reason and also walk away with, a bag full of groceries to help defer their monthly grocery costs, I think is by itself empowering. It really kind of resonated. I made a note to myself, the parallels of, or are they the eight principles? Yeah, compassion, justice, and equity. It really is exactly parallel to the way the food bank is trying to approach service to the community. So again, I think I really, don't have a lot else to say, and look forward to answering any questions. And would love to see any and all of you up at the food bank for our ribbon cutting ceremony, or to volunteer, or just to come take a tour, because I think that whole property really is going to become an asset for the entire community. So again, thank you for having me here. We do have a quick video that was put together for our Full Plates fundraiser last year, but I think it speaks really well to some of the kind of human and personal impacts that the food bank has. And I think you'll recognize a few faces in there. So I'll let you take it away. And I think we're going to have time for questions after the service. Yeah. So thanks again for having me. I'll let you guys enjoy this video.
The bigger picture is a fundamental commitment to social justice. That has been the guiding light of all the choices I've made in my life. There's a lot of dirt roads and dark driveways on Vashon Island, and they don't all lead to the waterfront. We tend to see the people that look like me, and there's a lot of people on this island that don't look like me. The food bank serves them, appreciates them, recognizes them, and through that have a way to do the same.
About 6 years ago, I moved back to the island after I left my job. And when I did, I didn't have any money. The food bank was a resource. There was a community there, not just the people who were volunteering, who are all amazing, but also the people that use the food bank. After 6 years of using the food bank, and I volunteered. I got my gig working Wednesdays. It's about giving back. I wanted to give back. The food bank had really helped me for quite some time. It is so fun. Everyone likes that they're helping the community.
Feeding people is just, it's a really big deal to me. Food and beverage and hospitality, I always refer to food as love, and I think it is. I think it's a welcome, it's an entry point, but it's also a right that people have food.
I'm Peppa.
Dre.
We own Gravy, which is a little restaurant on Vashon Island where we all are.
I'm a chef, really passionate about cooking and feeding people. I think everybody deserves and needs food security.
And you're on the board of the food bank on Vashon. It's been really nice to see the island show up and show out, as you would say.
Yep. I like seeing progress. So I think that's a great part of this operation, is that the board is very on board. Everybody involved in the food bank here is very, very motivated.
Yeah.
A lot of local businesses have donated things without me even having to beg them or ask. They just come.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, to bring the community of business together to help out everybody and each other, which is why you're in a community, to be a part of the community.
In a small community, for sure. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Irene Otis, a longtime Vashon resident. I am a tile maker and a mother of 4, and I've been making tiles for 60 years. They're down in the Dockton Park, they're in the library, they're in front of the senior center, they're in homes. I've made thousands and thousands of tiles, and I'm now 77 years old, and I live on a fixed income because I have a degenerative spinal condition. I can't work the way I used to. Really rely on the food bank to make my life healthier. Before the food bank, I had no food in reserve. For me, the real tipping point was when I was putting food on my credit card, and I thought, hey, this is going to take me down. It might be slow, but I can't start going into debt because I can't afford to eat. And the food bank provides assistance in a number of ways. I get an email every week. I call in an order, and I then receive grocery bags delivered by lovely people. I am so grateful. I eat much better. I especially rely on what's available in terms of fruits and vegetables. I hope if you're a senior and you're wanting just a little extra help, this is a really good way to do it. Don't wait. It's made life better. Some weeks I don't order because there's nothing that I need. I want to live independently as long as possible. I'm quite feisty. I am hugely, hugely grateful to the food bank for making this possible. I think it's a way that Vashon, the community, supports its seniors, and big shout out for that. Go food bank.
Well, thank you, Emily, and thank you for the lovely video. Let's hold a moment of contemplation. Just let the images and what she said wash over you. And in this time of worship, an old English word that means to consider things of worth. Let's have a generous and abundant silence for a bit. And now we're going to sing another hymn, so if you'd please rise in body or spirit. It's hymn 391, Voice Still and Small. It's found in your gray hymnals. And Xander's going to play the first verse, and then we'll all join in.
No, he won't do that, actually.
Change that.
We're going.
Plan B.
We're just going to start in, and we're going to sing it twice, because as you notice, there's no intro there. So we're just going to have at it, and we'll do it twice. It's a beautiful song.
Okay, got my marching papers from the informal choir here. Got it. We're going to now pause the recording as we prepare our. So as members and friends of the Vashon Island Unitarian Universalists, we commit to supporting our congregation, and the financial resources help us pay speakers and staff and support our social justice programs and maintain our building. So please support VIUU with your ongoing pledges and offerings so that we can continue to be a vital community. But our congregation also engages beyond our walls for peace, social and economic justice, freedom of belief, and protection of our planet and its inhabitants. And once a month, we contribute financial offering to a regional, national, or international organization that aligns with our values. And this week's offering, no surprise, supports the Vashon Maury Island Community Food Bank. So if you're writing a check, please enter Vashon Maury Community Food Bank. There you go. That's the whole heading. So our greeters are now going to pass around the baskets, and please join in singing We Give Thanks. For this precious day, for this we care, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. We're all gathered here. And us all proclaim for the time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Our closing reading is from Adrienne Marie Brown, a social justice facilitator, healer, and doula. Put your attention on suffering, which is constant and everywhere, and it is all you will see. Joy will come and laughter, but you will find it brief, possibly a distraction. Put your attention on joy, being connected and feeling whole, and you will find it everywhere. Your heart will still break. You will know grief, but you will find it a reasonable cost for the random abundance of miracles and the soft, wild rhythms of love.
Now we have time for the random abundance of miracles. Mary.
We extinguish our chalices with these words from the poem Sometimes by Mary Oliver. Instructions for living a life. Pay attention. Be astonished. Tell about it.
So please join me in listening to Xander's musical postlude.
This song is quite bittersweet.
Thank you, Xander, for all the beautiful music this morning. Thank you to our speaker, Emily Scott. Marilee for putting together this whole service. Our readers, Spencer for our tech support, Hospitality Team 4 for all the goodies you're going to enjoy. Oh, Team 1. Oh, okay, sorry, a little typo. Team 1. Team 1. Let's get credit where credit's due. And to all of you for being here and for participating in today's service at Lewis Hall, as well as those of you online. So please join us for refreshments after this service and after announcements. So we are about to begin announcements, and it is the first Sunday of the month, and therefore it is birthday pencils. So if you're a March birthday, come on up. March birthdays. Come on up.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Happy birthday to you.
So if you have an announcement with the caveat that it's related to a VIUU activity, this is now the time to come up and share it. And I'm going to start with one from Reverend Florence. So perhaps you've wanted to try a reading on one of our Sunday mornings, but you feel a little too shy to jump into that. Or maybe you love poetry and you don't feel confident reading it aloud. Or maybe you're an experienced reader who would love some tips for reading aloud with feeling. If so, this workshop, sponsored by the Sunday Services Committee and led by Reverend Florence, is for you. And it's going to be Saturday, March 7th, that would be next week, from 1 to 2:30 p.m. right here. You can bring a favorite, huh?
Sorry, this Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, the next Saturday we're going to see. You can bring a favorite poem, or you can choose one that Reverend Florence will bring, and everyone will have an opportunity to practice reading aloud. And there's a place to register in the newsletter and also on our website. And there will be a check-in and brush up for service leaders from 3 to 4:15 after that workshop. And so if you're interested in learning more about leading a Sunday service, feel free to attend. Okay, announcement time is open.
Hi, my name is Beth, and I'm here to speak about abundance. We have a third circle dinner. This one's a circle lunch at Matt's house coming up on the 21st. There are 8 spots, and I just cruised by the other circle dinners and lunches. Bill and Kathy Knoller Saturday, Ann and George for a lunch in April, and those guys are almost filled up, so better hurry.
Thank you.
I'm Kate, and I'm sure most of you in this room know that one of the most critical spiritual practices for Unitarians is having coffee and snacks after the service. And we also believe in shared ministry, which means this is a project for all of us to participate in, and many, many of you are already on the magic list. However, I would like to point out that we could use several more people on the 3rd Sunday and on the 5th Sunday, of which there will be one in March. So if any of you are not on a list, are not on a hospitality team for setup and snacks and flowers and all that wonderful stuff to host the rest of us for that week, it would be lovely if you would think about signing up. Thank you.
Where will the sign-up sheets be?
I think I'll put them with the sign-in sheets on the wall.
Yeah.
Hi. Since there are 5 Sundays this month, and almost everybody that is on the Fifth Sunday team is going to be away. So we do need help this month to do that Fifth Sunday. So please contact me. I'm here to volunteer for that. It'll be whatever, if you are already on one, well, I appreciate the help usually. Thank you. The other announcement I have is I've been really trying to figure out how to get the information on our services and what's going on with the UU here into the newspaper. But it has to be in the Thursday before, a whole week before the Thursday of it coming out. So if you're a service coordinator for any of the services coming up, if you could have that little blurb, the introduction to the person ready that before that week, the Wednesday before, so I could get it in there for the Thursday, before the Thursday deadline. If you could get it to me, my email's kind of easy. It's cgod, SEAGOD, 64 at gmail.com. There's a reason for that. It was actually a costume I was doing when I picked that email. Poseidon, very fancy thing. And that 64 is my birth year, and I share that with Keanu Reeves, Kamala Harris, and Michelle Obama, so good company there. But CGod.
They're in good company.
Yeah, there you go. CGod64 at gmail.com, and the Wednesday, whole week before the service. Thank you.
That's S-E-A, God, not S-E-E, God. Right? I'm Alex, and I want to apologize for the people that have signed up for this Open View Adult RE program. I had high hopes, and every single person I asked either had a medical problem or was really scared to present or didn't answer at all. So this is still a dream, and it will still happen, but that's why it hasn't happened yet. It seems like I've just ignored it, and I haven't. So it will come sometime. Second thing I would like to say is I want to make sure everybody has CBEC on their calendar, August 14, 15, and 16. It's 2 nights, Friday night and Saturday night, and a little bit of the day of Sunday. And we already have 3 people on our team. And if you are interested in joining the team, we would so welcome you. More to come on that. Save the date.
UU Central, the umbrella organization, has develops curriculum materials for Unitarian fellowships and congregations. And one of those is Soul Matters. It's a small group Soul Matters. So it would be a small group meeting, 6 or 7 people, I think, at the most, maybe. And they have curriculum that we can adapt to our uses. Our uses. It's based on the monthly themes. The small groups would meet once a month and probably have shared leadership after a while. I'm happy to help get these started. And we have 3 or 4 people who have already indicated an interest from last year at CBEC. But if you are interested in participating in a small group discussion that is really around, it's a deeper discussion about your interior self and your values and how you relate to the monthly themes, and we'll be drawing from those UU materials, but we'll tailor them to how we want to have the small group work. So if you're interested in participating, would you just contact me? I would be happy to get these started. Thank you.
Are you going to do one at CBEC again? I think that's a great way for people to get an idea.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be here then, but I will if I'm here. Thank you.
What are you going to call? What is it called?
we're just calling it Soul Matters. We don't have a name for it. We're using the name that the UU Central uses for the curriculum. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the organization that we're part of. And they have staff that are on staff that develop these curriculums and these monthly themes.
Good morning, I'm Gay. And I thank you, Julia, for announcing all those things next Saturday. That's a big day. It's awesome. And we'll have a brief Sunday Service Committee meeting after that. So there's the poetry, and then there's an hour break, and then there's the opportunity to learn more about service leading. So thank you.
Hello again. I'm Shauna, and with Matt, he mentioned last week we're going to get us into the 21st century on social media. So I'm very excited about that. We know that even though it is a dreadful thing, social media is also where people spend their time. And so being able to do it with dignity will be wonderful. I am making a call for any photographs you have of this community, of services, of CBEC, anything that to you represents, a photograph that represents why you come. It is a visual medium, both on Facebook. We're going to have a VIUF Facebook page, which I need to talk to anybody who's in charge of the Facebook group right now. But also, I don't know if you know this, but it takes most people seeing something 7 times before they decide to act on it. And since we're not showing up on social media, that's not happening. We need new families. We got to get them in here. We want more people like us. Let's bring them in. So if you have any photographs, any stories, anything you'd like to share, please contact me. My email is cgoddess at... I wish it was that interesting. It's ShaunaJamesAhern@gmail.com, but I will also come talk to me. I will write down your email, and you can get to me, and I'll write it down. Okay, thanks.
Just a quick reminder that if you'd like to spend some time with Emily talking about the food bank, she'll be up here. We'll make a little circle of chairs. So grab your coffee and treat and bring it here, please, so we can get started and Emily can go on to the rest of her day. And then the group on the Community Support Fund will meet after that, probably in the office. So hang out, have coffee, join Emily.
Okay, now let's sing ourselves out with Go Now in Peace.